Hi everyone, my name is Jen and today we're going to go through a low impact circuit. What that means is that we're going to spend about 45 minutes together. However, every round is approximately 10 minutes. If you can stay the whole time, wonderful, great, love to work out with you. If you can't, I totally understand. Each round is going to be the same, it's the same 10 exercises, and then we're going to refresh and start again. So if you can do one round with us, beautiful, great. Do your cool down by yourself. You can do 2 rounds, great. If you can do 3, beautiful. But they're going to be all the same. So you decide how much do you want to work out and what's the intensity going to be. I'm grabbing a lighter set of weights and a medium set of weights. Every exercise is going to be 40 seconds long with a 20-second break. So you can readjust, grab new weights, and grab water, anything like that. But the idea is to do exercises low and slow, build up your stamina and build up your ability to do things beautifully, correctly, and formatively all the way through. So if you need to take more breaks, please do so, but that's the concept. So welcome to class, grab your weights, grab a mat, grab your space, and let's get started. So we're just going to just warm up the hips. There's no jumping in this class. We try to do everything with intention, but if you want to go heavier with the weights, you can. So just because it is a low impact class does not mean that it's a potentially low sweat class or easy class, but it can be if you want it to be. All right, let's open up the arms. Other way. Let's rotate. Big twists. My suggestion is to go light with the weights if you're going to add weights at all for the first round. And then you can always add the other rounds. You can 100% use bands for this as well. Two more. All right, hands on the hips. Let's just kick those feet back. If you want to add a little bit to this, maybe can you come down a little squat. Now let's take 2 steps, other way. 2 steps, other way. Let's take 2 steps, kick, and kick. Let's change that kick to forward. And we're still potentially in that low squat. You definitely don't have to be. You can be here. And then come back to the center. Let's tap forward and back in a diagonal. So we can tap down in the middle if we need to. Totally fine. Or not. And if we can hold on for balance if we need to as well. Switch sides. And really, march in place. I'm going to go over the first 5 of those 10 exercises, and then we'll get to it as we go along. So we have lateral squat walks. So we're going to be in a little bit of a squat and just walking side to side, just like we just did. If you have a band and you want to use it, by all means you can, but you don't have to. You can even be up, completely up nice and tall. So that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 are called around the world. So you're going to grab your lighter weights and you're going to come in front and you're going to go around and up and around back down. So you're doing a big half circle. I don't want you to do this though. You got to be up nice and tall. You can even kneel or sit if you want to here. So that's exercise number 2. Then we have a lunge on our right leg with or without weights. I'm just gonna stay in that position and go up and down. The depth is my choice. Then we have a wood chop, so a rotation with or without weight. Then we have lunges on the other side. And then wood chops on the other side. So those are that first half of the exercises. We'll continue as we go along, but that is going to be the first 6 in this case every time through, okay? So we have 10 exercises total, 3 rounds through, 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. Okay? Sounds good? All right, so we have those lateral squats, or lateral walks first. Make sure you have the weights, if you're going to use them, or bands at your disposal. And we're gonna get started. All right, so let's start in 4, 3, 2, 1. So depending on how much space you have, you could do a whole bunch of sidewalks. You can go all the way across the room. Or if you're a little tight on space, and there's a bunch of you in the room together, smaller steps. If for a reason that you wanted to make this more intense, maybe on round number 3 and you still have some gas in the tank, you could hold a weight here and come into your squat, but my suggestion is maybe just squat a little lower because you can always adjust that on the fly. All right, so then we have our around the world. I am going to actually kneel for this one just so I can stay in frame a little bit better, but you can 100% stand up. I'll at least kneel for this first one. Plus it makes sure that takes away a little bit more of that swing because you're on your knees. But it's not really that comfortable, so. Up and down. So, a couple little things here. If you feel like the weight's too heavy and you're like, oh, the lighter one's too far away, go up on one side and then up on the other. You can 100% switch it out, and that really takes away obviously half of the weight, but it really lets you concentrate on one side, making sure that you're doing that side 100%. And take breaks when you need to. Okay, so we have lunges on side A. I'm gonna go with my right side first. Pick your side, totally fine. And weights, totally optional. Feet nice and wide. They are on railroad tracks, not on a tightrope. All right, you decide the depth. You decide the speed. But especially in round 1, take your time. All right, I'm gonna drop one of my weights, and we're gonna go into those wood chops. And we're chopping with the whole body, not just the arms. So in these little breaks, you can walk around, you can grab some water, just keep moving in some way, shape, or form. All right, let's rotate, twist. And it's gonna rotate with my whole body. One foot to the other foot. Can be called a golf swing. Either way, they're not a golf swing or a wood chop, but it's the actual, it's a good name for it. If you were trying to chop wood like this, it would be very awkward. Couple more seconds. All right, remember what side you just did. So we're going to go to the lunges on the other side. All right, Okay, and then our wood chop on the other arm. If doing an upper and a lower and an upper and a lower in a single-sided is confusing for you, do the leg and then the leg and then the arm and the arm. It's totally fine. I just like to break it up a little bit just to give that body part a little bit of a rest. But if trying to remember what side you've done and what side you haven't done is just weighing our mind a little bit too much, you can totally change it to make it suit you. I always just do my right leg or arm leading first. All right, so we have 4 more exercises after this with round 1. Okay, so we have a squat with pulses. We have a sit-up or a crunch. We have a bird dog or a shoulder press and then a bird dog. So you're gonna need a mat, space, whatever, and a single pair of lighter weights. So first we have the squat with our leg pulses. So we're gonna squat down. So let's squat down, come up, pulse, pulse. Squat down, come up, pulse, pulse. You decide the depth of your squat, and you decide, do you do the pulses? Maybe you tap, tap, and down. Maybe you hold on for balance. Maybe you do just squats. That's fine. Options are for all, even if the person next to you is not doing the option you are, totally fine. All right, so now we have our sit-ups or our crunches. So you decide, do you want to do a full sit-up? Do you want to do a crunch? Either one is totally fine. Whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to bring my arms across my chest, either way. And I'm going to lean back. And I'm either going to come up, bring the shoulders up off the ground, or I'm going to sit all the way up. If having your hands in front is too much on your neck, bring those hands behind, bring them next to your ears, bring those elbows out. Have the tiniest bit of pressure on the back of the neck, but you are not pulling. If your hands are here across the chest with your sit-ups and you do want to make it harder, bring those arms out to the side, but don't put them behind the head. Just have them be out or even up. All right, so next we have our shoulder press. I'm going to kneel again for this first round. And shoulder press for 40 seconds is a lot, so if you need to do single arms, totally fine. If you need to take a break, totally fine. Shoulders back and down the whole time. All right, let's press up, back down. So you can be here if you need to be. I'm not bringing those shoulders up super high. They are in the same place. The arms are moving, they're just moving at the shoulders. A few more seconds. And release. Okay, last exercise of round 1. It is our bird dog. So let us come into tabletop. And we are going to reach opposite arm and opposite leg forward. Notice my back is flat. It's not here. It's flat. All right, so let's take our left leg and our right arm up. You can hold it for a couple seconds. Bring it back in. Other side, back in. And this is the exercise where you contemplate, are we going again? Are we changing any weights? Are we changing any durations? Where is our water? We have just under 2 minutes in between each round. So, looks like 1 minute and 50 seconds. It's 20 seconds for our regular break. And then a minute 30 for everything else. So this is the time to decide what you're gonna do. I'd love to have you continue, but sometimes I know you can't. So walk around, grab water, keep moving. If for some reason you feel like you are on top of the world and you have energy for days, you can jog in place. You can do some high knees. You can just move around, do some punches. Anything to keep yourself moving, but this is your recovery time, so use it as such. Tie your knees, blow your nose, do your thing. And that is the routine for today. So we have 2 more rounds of exactly what we just did. So you know exactly what's coming. You know how much energy you're gonna need. So get ready. We are starting in about 45 seconds. All right, we got 5 seconds to go. We're gonna start with those lateral squat locks. All right, let's begin. So do not feel like you need to match my pace, my depth, my weight, anything like that. Nor do you by paying attention to the person next to you, in front of you, or behind you. Around the world, to grab your lighter weights, and you can 5,000% do this with no weights at all. You can do this whole routine without any weights, and you can do a routine without any weights ever. You're going to use your body as the resistance, and you're really going to focus on doing those exercises. If you're doing a bicep curl and you're just flowing it around like this, but if you're actively going, you can get a lot out of it. So you can 100% do that if you're traveling. If the weights get too much, but you know you still want to do weights, it's just you grab the wrong ones. Finish off the set with your resistance of your own body. Okay, we're going to go into our lunges. Side A. But if you lose your balance, you lose your balance. Release it down. We have our wood chops on side A. Make sure that when you're putting your weight on the floor, you're not going to trip over it, or no one else is going to trip over it. 2, 1. Lunge around 2. Remember, we're moving around during these breaks. We're grabbing our water. Let's begin. Wood chop side 2. Let's fake chop some wood. We have our squats with our leg pulses. So no weights for this one, unless of course you decide you want one. And you don't have to always move the legs during the break. You can move some arms, rotate, whatever you got going on. You can also do a much wider squat. You don't have to do a narrow squat. By default, every time someone says a squat, in your head you are kind of always thinking of a certain squat. You don't have to do it that way every time. All right, we have our core, our crunches, and our or sit-ups. Get ready. Get set. Two, one. All right, we ready for our shoulder presses? Saying feel free to stand. If I was in the room with you right now, I'd be standing, but otherwise you kind of lose the weights in the frame. Whew, getting warm. Almost done with round 2. And remember, if you do have to leave, I totally 1000% understand. Just please make sure that you're doing your own cool down and stretch. It's very important to bring that heart rate down nice and slow. All right, bird bird dogs. Bird dogs, bird dogs. Get ready. Get set. Lift up and back in. Okay, so round 2 is over. We have our minute and 50 seconds here. It's our last time we have our break because next round, when we finish, we'll be cooling down. So move around, grab what you need. I think I'm going to turn my fan on. Number 1, because I'm hot. And number 2, because you know the routine by now. So if it's a little tiny bit more noisy, it's not the end of the world. Hopefully that is not too loud for you. One more round through. You got it in you? I hope you do. And if you're doing this class in person and there's an exercise that is uncomfortable for you, and you don't feel comfortable doing a modification yourself, 100% ask me. I will 1000% say, everybody in the room is doing squats. Everyone who doesn't want to do a squat can do this instead. So it could be something that you're like, I'm not really sure I want to do it for my balance today. Or it could be something like, I just did so many squats yesterday, Jen, I am so tired, can I please do something else? That is okay. There's no shame in modifying at all, ever. And if someone does shame you for modifying, shame on them. All right, we have 12 seconds, starting from the top one final time with those lateral squat walks. All right, let's begin. We have literally 10 minutes of work left because we have 10 exercises and 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. Can you get a little lower? Do you want to get a little lower? Those are the two important questions. Physically, can you safely? And then, do you want to? Are you going to get a benefit out of it that is worth the risk? Are you helping someone move tomorrow? Do you want to be a total sore person? Or are you like, hey, I'm helping someone move tomorrow. I need to make sure I'm ready to go. That's up to you. All right, so we have around the world. Last time with all of these exercises. So either modify them to do them how you can, or this is the time to add resistance if you feel like you're doing them correctly. So remember, when we're here, we are not swinging the upper body to the front, to the back. Everything is still, except for the arms moving around in that shoulder joint. Lunge time. Not lunch, not yet. We got our lunge. Remember, start with the side. That makes it easier for you to remember which side you've already done. Wood chop. All right, let's keep going. Remember, that's a full body movement here. We're not just doing this. Full movement. At the very least, it gives you good mobility. Lunges on the other side last time. If you're still with me. Five seconds till we start. Wood chop side 2. So close to the end. Three, two, one. 4 more exercises. We have our squats with those side pulses. You ready? Get set. Squat. If you wanted to make it harder, maybe you push off with just one leg as compared to pushing up with 2 and then going into that press. Options. If you are tired here, maybe you say either do just the squat, or maybe do you do just the pulse. You can always divide up the more complex movements into smaller pieces. 2 and 1. All right, it's sit up crunch time. Okay, you're yourself ready. I think I'm gonna do just the crunches this time. Feel free to join me. Sometimes crunches can be more difficult than sit-ups because your time under tension is a lot higher. When you're doing a full sit-up, there are times in that process where your abs are more active than other times. When you're doing a crunch, the range is significantly smaller. Remember, we're not yanking on the neck. We have less than 10 seconds. Whew. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Shoulder presses and bird dogs, that's all we got. Maybe for this round, for those shoulder presses, maybe you do just do body weight. Just here. If you have all your form correct, it's going to work those shoulders. Don't worry. Whew, we got 12 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Bird dogs, we are a minute away here. So when this bird dog is over, grab some water and then just come right back over to your mat and we'll hold on together. All right, awesome work. Put your weights away, grab some water, and then come back, and we'll pull it down together. We're in no rush. We have about a minute or so, so take your time. Bring your water with you. Move around nice and easy and slow. Big breaths in and big breaths out. All right. So I hope you got something out of the class, even though I am not physically there to do it with you. Let's bring your knees in. So I have one knee in front and one knee off to the side. So we'll call these 90-90s because we have in theory 90-degree angle here and 90-degree angle here. Just gonna lift myself up. I'm going to sit as much as I can on this hip on this side, and then up and over. And if I want to come down onto that forearm, it really intensify that stretch. Feel free. And then come up nice and slow. We're going to do a little bit of a twist. So I'm sitting up nice and tall, still not hunched. Everything's up, shoulders are back. And then release. So let's switch around those legs. Alright, so we're up nice and tall. And then you decide, are we up here for our stretch or are we down here for our stretch? Preferably shoulder would be on top of shoulder here. And then come up. And let's do a nice little twist. And then release. Let's bring those legs in front. One leg out, one leg in, and reach down towards that foot. If you cannot reach that foot, 1000% okay. You can reach towards the knee. Do not grab onto the knee. But you can put your one hand below, one hand above. You can reach down to your foot. If you have the ability to have a block or a strap, you can extend the length of your foot by putting the block on the other side, make it longer, or you can have the strap and make it shorter. Release, lay on that side, pull that foot back, and let's do a quad stretch, which is the front of this thigh right here. Release, other side of her, or other side lower body, I should say. Let's reach down towards that foot, grabbing it if you have the ability. Your flexibility at the beginning of the workout and the end of the workout can be completely different. Come on up, and let's bring it back. And release. All right, you can sit however you are comfortable. And let's bring one arm back, bring that elbow straight up to the ceiling. Let's do a nice little tricep stretch right back in here. And switch it up, other side. Release, let's bring that arm in front and let's do a couple little circles with that wrist. And then give yourself literally a pat on the back. Bring those elbows up nice and high. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Bring the arm across, move around that wrist. And then give yourself a pat on the back. Bring that elbow up nice and high. So release, bring those shoulders back and down. Turn and face one leg, just stretching a nice stretch of the neck. And then other side, same thing. Come back to the center, and when you are ready, we're going to stand on up. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Hopefully I'll see you in person next time, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.